lovely family, welcome back to another YouTube video. If it's your first time of seeing my video, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Mercy. I'm a nurse in the UK. Normally in November, there's this hashtag going on around TikTok called Known Ones November. And what this means is that people give their unsolicited opinions about different aspects of life. And it's normally they're normally unpopular opinions, which means that you may not agree with them, but that is what they believe, okay? So in light of that, I have decided that in today's video, I have made a list of things that I believe nursing in Ghana or nurses in Ghana can learn from nurses in UK or nursing in UK. I'm not going to be talking to just nurses. I'm going to be talking to management. I'm going to be talking to hospitals, things that we can change in our own little way. And mind you, I'm aware that most countries in Africa are developing, and therefore the resources that we are blessed with over here in the UK, we are not blessed with the same things back at home. So I have that in mind, and so the things that I have listed have nothing to do with resources. These are just small ways in which I believe would make nursing better. So my mind always goes back to this particular moment during my interview where I was asked, Mercy, what do you think is the difference between nursing in UK and nursing in Ghana? And I was like, there's no difference. Maybe apart from the shift system, there's no difference. In fact, there are differences. And if you are an overseas nurse or an international nurse working in the UK, there are moments where you discover something in the ward, maybe a service or an equipment or something that in your mind you go, I really think people back at home would benefit from this particular service or will benefit from this particular gadget. Sometimes you wish you could just carry it and go back home with it, but that is not possible. One day, I hope that the knowledge we've learned from here, we'll take it back home to make changes to our communities. But for now, here are things that I believe we can learn from nursing in UK.
I don't wanna see the way you fall apart. Even though you told me take it back your heart, I still spin inside your orbit.
Alright, welcome back to the video. So the very first thing I want to talk about is with regards to sick leave, taking and giving sick leaves. So in the UK, if you're not well, all you have to do is take a phone, ring your ward and tell them that you can't come in today, and maybe they should find somebody to take your shift, and then you have to phone in when you're ready to come back to work again. And sometimes also when you're going to be taking longer than I think 7 days or so, you need a GP letter that says that because of so and so reasons, you may have to stay home a bit longer. However, back home, even if you are going to be off for 2 days and you are sick for 2 days, you have to physically present your excuse duty form to your matron or in charge. I feel like this has its disadvantages. Imagine you have a communicable disease, something that you can easily spread, something that requires you to isolate. Now you have to come to the ward to present a letter, risking the lives of your colleagues, staff, and patients who are already vulnerable. So I believe that this can be changed. It does not need any funding. It does not need any resources. Fine, if you want an excuse duty form, provide an email where I can still email you the excuse duty form, even if I cannot physically come to the ward. And mind you, where you work may not necessarily be where you are going to seek for medical attention. Sometimes you work in a different hospital. You have to come from where you sought your medical attention from all the way to your workplace to your ward just to present an excuse duty form. This, in my opinion, can be changed so that people do not have to present their sick self, endangering the lives of every other person just to present an excuse duty form. Alright guys, so the second thing I want to talk about is with relationships with matrons. Over here, I found that matrons they maintain a very cordial and lovely relationship with their colleagues at work. But back home, it's not like that. Back home, when you're at work and you hear that a matron is coming or you hear that somebody in authority is coming, you don't even know what to do to yourself. Do you stand up? Do you sit down? What do you do? You know, there's this fear, that feeling of fear that you have for people people in higher positions, okay? I'm not saying disrespect them, because they are people in higher positions. You need to have respect for them. However, the feeling you should be feeling when you see them shouldn't be that of fear. You know, it shouldn't be something that scare you. You shouldn't be thinking twice going to work because you are on duty with a certain senior or a certain matron who you fear at work. It doesn't foster good working like relationship. Over here, the matron will approach you. Oh, how are you doing today, darling? Like, are you okay? Are you encountering any difficulties? If you are tired, take a few minutes and have a seat, like rest your legs. If you need a few minutes, there's a room, you know, wobble room or something for the staff. There are actually rooms where you can take a few minutes to maybe distress, cry if you have to, because maybe something is happening back at home that is stressing you. One opinion I have always maintained is to never work under stress. Do not work when you are stressed, because you don't think straight and you are likely to make more mistakes. So if you're a matron or somebody in high position watching this video right now, please ensure that the relationship that your workers feel towards you is something cordial, so that they can approach you if they have any difficulties. It shouldn't be a feeling of fear. So if I have not annoyed you at this point and you're still watching, thumbs up to you. Kindly like and subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed. You all agree with me that when you're a student nurse or rotational nurse back home, it can be very challenging and difficult. I remember after my first clinicals as a student, I lost hope in nursing. I was like, nope, this job is not for me. It is not for me. I wasn't called for this job. But like right now, I have a different perspective, and I believe that back home we can do so many things to help student nurses who are new to the profession, who are aiming to be like us one day. And because we have already been through those like experiences, we have the opportunity to teach them what we learned from our experiences, right? And back home there are no provisions for student nurses who may have one disability or another. I'm not talking about just maybe physical disabilities, because we know that disabilities can be physical or not physical. Some people are colorblind, some people are dyslexic, so they may need extra attention, okay, when it comes to, you know, working in the ward and all that. But you would agree with me that back home, when you are a student nurse and you come to the ward, it is literally a battle. You are actually battling to get procedures done. Your main job will be checking of vitals. Over here, if you are a student nurse, you get to be assigned to 3 or 4 supervisors, and when you're working, you get to work with them. They supervise you, do procedures, you know, and they have like a book which you fill together with them. I know that back home, nobody ever gave us an education on how to fill our logbooks. We were always feeling it how we thought was the right way, and in the end they said they were going to take it and they were going to grade it, but it never actually really happened. No attention is paid to the student nurse, in my opinion. So I feel like this is something we can implement also back at home. Supervisors should be assigned to student nurses when they come to the ward. They shouldn't just be allowed to roam in the ward. They shouldn't just be allowed to just be checking vital signs. On every shift, they should be assigned to somebody who will supervise them, do procedures, okay? Because you sometimes underestimate how distressing it can be coming to work and just to check vital signs. They'll end up losing hope. Over here, you have like 3 or 4 supervisors, and apart from those supervisors, you have assessors. And it's very helpful because you get to pick from different people. You get to gain techniques from different people, and it helps you build love for the profession. So this is another thing that, in my opinion, we back at home can learn from nursing in the UK. Okay, so the 5th opinion that I have, and this one I know a lot of people would disagree, is about keeping beards or having tattoos or dyeing our hairs. Because back home, you can't keep a beard if you're a nurse. No. And the explanation they give is that you may end up contaminating a sterile field, or hair may fall off and enter somewhere, I don't know, but it's not safe. However, in UK, it can be viewed as discrimination, especially if you have a faith or religion that says you shouldn't shave your beard. So it can be a form of discrimination. Some people's religion do not care whether they shave their beards or not, but for others, the religion demands that you keep beards, and because you are a nurse, you have to shave your beard. You can keep your beard, but make sure it's trim and it's nice, okay? Not like bushy and looking some way. So this is one other thing I believe we can implement back at home: keeping beards, having tattoos, and dyeing of hair. I think in Ghana you can only have either brown or black hair, but over here some facilities allow you to dye your hair any color. Some want you to dye your hair just natural hair colors, so that is fine. But with tattoos, you can have tattoos as long as they don't say, you know, offensive, they don't give offensive messages. But you can have normal tattoos, like beautiful, maybe flowers or animals or things that mean a lot to you. It shouldn't be against nursing to have a tattoo. However, in the country or the place where we find ourselves, we are not allowed to have tattoos, and we are not allowed to keep beards. Men should be allowed to keep their beards as well. And although we have a long way when it comes to this particular opinion, some facilities may even ask their female nurses not to wear any makeup at all. But I think it is okay if you can have light makeup on. You don't have to look all plain. It should be okay for you to have a bit of makeup on to cover up if it makes you feel more comfortable at work. I believe that this is one thing we can implement or we can learn from nursing in the UK as well. All right, lastly and final opinion is with regards to updating our knowledge or our competences when it comes to work, because some people have completed school since 5 to 10 years ago, and the procedure that they learned when they were in school is the same procedure that they are still managing now. And always there are new updates, okay, in healthcare. There are new researches every day. New ways or better ways of doing things are being discovered every day. So it is necessary that we update our knowledge. So how you used to pass catheter in 2008 may not be recommended now, because new research shows that maybe if you do it like that is wrong and you are likely to give your patient infection. So you should rather do it like that. If you don't go for trainings, if you don't go for workshops, how would you know? There's no way of knowing. And I'm not just saying workshops or trainings, but even for the average Ghanaian or the average Nigerian, those workshops are once in a while. They are not regular. I think one thing we can learn from the UK or nursing in UK is compulsory competencies. Like when you are a nurse, you have certain trainings that are compulsory every year for you to have them done, and they list them for you. Apart from the compulsory ones, we have the non-compulsory ones, which are like the ones that you feel will be of benefit to you. So something like catheterization, if you qualify as a nurse today, in 2 years to 3 years time, you need to retake a training on catheterization. And I'm not talking about a workshop where like you just go and sit down, they'll teach you, or you listen to something. That's it. You practice on a dummy. Okay, and then they'll use that opportunity to tell you maybe there are new changes that state that you can't do it this way or you can't do it that way. Apart from catheterization, cannulation, you can't prick your patient more than a certain number of times, you know, because the more you are doing that, you are causing distress to your patient, you are putting your patient at risk of infection. Like, these are things that you will never know if you never get to update your knowledge, or you never like get the opportunity to go through certain trainings again after you've completed. So an opportunity should be given to people back home to also update their knowledge when it comes to certain procedures in the ward and certain knowledge. It shouldn't be maybe a workshop, then they'll select 2 or 3 people from the ward just to attend and come and teach everybody else. The facility should be able to hold trainings for their staff so that they can always give the best quality care possible. Okay guys, so like I said, there's no nuanced November, and these are my personal unpopular opinions on some of the things that I believe we can learn from nursing in the UK. And you never know, like, that is how things are if you never leave the country. When I was in Ghana, I didn't even know like these things were there until I got here. So as we are here, I can use that as an opportunity with the things that I have learned, and I'll encourage all overseas nurses or all international nurses to keep calling back and encouraging people back at home to either come and take up knowledge here or impart whatever they've learned to them back at home, so that we can make little changes, okay? And little changes go like a long way to make bigger changes. So thank you so very much for watching. I know that some of you may not have agreed with all of my opinions, but that's okay. Kindly subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with your friends, and check my comment section or the description box for the link to my Telegram group and join the family. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.